Hi, Ryan Rockwood here with Virtual Results. Just doing a quick tutorial on Google Plus, Google Local, Google Maps. These are all kind of used interchangeably. Ranking and what they are, how to get them, and just a quick overview. By no means is this exhaustive, but it'll give you a good idea of what we're talking about. Now, why is it so confusing? Well, there used to be Google Maps. They also called it Google Local, and then there's the Google search results and the pay-per-click results. What we're talking about here is this little, sometimes it's called a 3 box or a 5 box or a 10 box, 7 box. It's a bunch of results that are basically shown with map push pins right here, kind of showing you where they are. And they very often now have a Google Plus page. Google Maps, Google Local, and is kind of merging into Google Plus. Okay, so that's why it's so confusing. Going forward, I think it'll be easier. But right now, think of it like this: most people are familiar with the Facebook profile, and then you make a business page. Okay, there's this person. A person is the profile, and you might have a business with multiple locations. Each location, physical location, might deserve its own Google Plus page, just like it might deserve its own Facebook page. Although you might decide not to do it that way, and that's fine too. It's somewhat up to personal preference. So what we're talking about today is Google Plus, Google Local. These terms are all used interchangeably. And how do they come up? Well, normally when you're searching for the word real estate or homes for sale or something like that, they're not going to come up because they typically come up. Well, always it's a physical brick and mortar business. I can't think of an example where it's not. And So, when you're looking for real estate, you're typically not looking for a realtor. You're not looking for representation. Now, if you searched Columbia, South Carolina realtor, you do want a realtor, for goodness sake. So you come right down here, and um, these are going to show up, and also some different results are going to show up in the organic and the paid results too. Okay, but so why are these showing? Then you might ask. Well, frankly, no one knows. It's not. Google has its own methodology, and they're not. They're marching to their own beat, and they're not interested in really explaining it, completely. So for some terms, you will find that they're very good terms, and these local results do show up. Now, this is just something you're going to have to test on your own with your own local keywords in your own local area. Be sure to, use an incognito window or something like that so that you're not just getting super biased results. But so in this case, it does show up, and it's not by any means extraordinary or anything like that. Don't get me wrong. No one's gonna look at this and go, oh my gosh, these are showing. They're just gonna say, oh, huh. So Google shows local results for that keyword. Okay. So you determine if that's the case with you, and if you want to put some time into trying to get yourself on the maps. Okay. So if you should want to do that, you want to create a Google Plus page. Now, what is a Google Plus page? It looks something like this. It's distinguishable from a Google Plus profile in that this might be a business, whereas your profile, which has an icon like this, the rules are it has to be a person. It has to be one person. It has to be you essentially. But this could be your business. You could have multiple pages if you wish. You just come down here and click pages and fire it up and verify. Enter in all your information, your photo, and your links and everything like that, and you will have a page, relatively quickly. Now, how to get that page to rank is, or to show up in the results that we're talking about is, the subject of what we're going to get into now. Okay, so what we've got is a Google Plus page here. So in order to create a page, you must create a profile. And to do that, you can just go to plus.google.com, I think, something like that, or just Google it. And you do need to create your own personal profile. Don't get all bent out of shape about it. Just, whip it out, put a picture of yourself in there, put your information in there. That's a good thing anyway. And then you can go about creating a page. Okay. Once you create your page, there will be steps involved to verify it. You'll have to enter your website, and then on your website, you'll probably have to enter this Google Plus URL right here. to link back, and eventually it'll be verified. And if you do verify it, it will have a checkbox like this. See, this says, we trust this is, because anyone could create something like this, right? But this is another one that showed up, and the site links back, and it links to the site, and so Google says, okay, well, this is probably the business, okay? So that's essentially how you start it up. Now, what are the factors that go into what makes it show up on the map? That is tricky, and again, Google isn't exactly chomping at the bit to tell you exactly how to manipulate it. So the bottom line is we don't know for sure, but there are many kind of obvious and not so obvious elements that go into what makes something show up here versus the hundreds that aren't. Okay, let me just go run into it real quick. The first being, typically, traditionally, an address in the very heart center of town will in fact get you shown up here, shown here, whereas something on the outskirts is traditionally going to work against you. Now you can see it's not always the truth. There's always an exception to the rule. See this A right here? Well, this is way out here. Columbia's right here. So you can see C. You'd think C would be really showing up A, the first position, but it's not. So there are other factors too. Okay, and really this is an odd one, and maybe just Google likes to mess with us, because you can see that this is not verified. There's no photo. There's one review here, but when I click this, it's actually broken. So perhaps there was a review once, but it's not there now. This person probably doesn't even know that this exists. Google just, crawled the internet and found this information on their website and said, oh, well, I think a real estate office is here. They have no followers and no reviews. So that's not working for it. Okay. Now, the other things that could work for you may be Google reviews. Now, there are two types of reviews that Google shows. One is reviews from around the web, which I have heard count less than reviews actually posted on Google, which show here. If you want someone to review you on Google, it's they have to jump through some hoops. You have to send this to someone, this page right here, and you have to tell them, go click this button. It's not easy to find. If someone's unfamiliar and they come on this page, it's very likely they're not going to be able to find this button. So many times you have to do something like this. Give them the URL, give them a screenshot, say click here, something like that. Okay, and you can see the reviews here, reviewed a month ago, a year ago. This person has put some real work into this thing. Photos are here. It's verified. Everything matches. They've got 18 people that have plus one this page. That's very positive. That means 18 people have come and plus one it. And when someone writes a review, you have to sign in and use your account. So if I was to put this review here, if I was to rate this, it's going to show up under my name, and if I'm not logged in as myself with a Google account, it will make you create it or log into a Google account. So there's a lot of obstacles. So your customers have to really, really love you or hate you in order to get over here and rate you. So it is kind of extraordinary. It does show some extraordinary work when someone like this has 17. Now the bad thing is they're not all positive, it looks like, but property management, you can expect you probably got some unhappy tenants and stuff. So what else? So what have we talked about so far? We've talked about address. We've talked about reviews. We've talked about a good completed Google Plus page that's verified and has content. And one thing I may note too is that you see that this page right here, when I click on posts, this person's actually posting to this, just like you might go to Facebook and post. They're actually here adding content, not incredibly regularly, but in the past year, it looks like they quit around July. So by rights, there really isn't much here that would make you think that this one, Home Advantage, shouldn't be first. Although it is right here, and so they're not complaining bitterly, but it is strange. Now, there's one more element at least, and this one's a little bit trickier to get your mind around, but it is the idea of citations. Citations are when you go out on a site, let's say Yahoo Business, and you say, let's see if I can search by, you know, um, okay, so Yahoo Local. Okay, now this isn't Yahoo Directory, anything like that. It's different. This is, and all these people have come onto Yahoo, and because they're all bright and dandy like this, I bet this is actually a paid thing. But if we come down here to some of the minions, they're maybe not looking so bright and chipper or whatever. Um, anyway, we come here and we say, okay, Carson, for example. This company has visited this site and well, potentially, like Google, this does create profiles automatically. But what we've got here is a business listing. Columbia, South Carolina. They've listed themselves potentially as their name, their address, their phone number, and you can see here I don't even see a link to their website. In this case, however, this still qualifies as a citation. A citation is basically a record online of your business, and ideally your name, your phone number, and your address matches exactly what's on your website and what's on all the other websites, all the hundreds of other websites like Yahoo. So, you know, why is one person? Well, there's a lot of things that go into what makes one person rank above another. But one of the things that you can't see by looking at this is whether or not maybe this guy has 1,000 citations, meaning 1,000 sites with perfect name, perfect address, commas in the right spot, abbreviations exactly the same on all these sites, phone number written exactly the same, and Google thinks, well, this is a pretty legit business. That's the idea anyway, right? So let's take a look at what you do to get a citation. Well, for one, you come to Yahoo Local, and typically there's an area. I'm not super familiar with Yahoo Local actually, but in all these places there is a place, probably not advertised, where you can add, basically, where you say, I want to add my business. Ideally, and more often, you find your business because it's already here, and you go to it, open it up, and verify it. Verifying it is usually a process of like linking or getting a call on the phone or an email or something like that. So you could go in there and figure out every site's a little bit different as to how you verify it. So that's the challenge. So now let's go. I do have an example of a kind of an interesting report we generated the other day. Okay, so you're looking at this, and we're looking at, okay, Philadelphia Realtor. Obviously, that's going to generate a local result. Okay, so we took a look at this and we said, okay, what do these other people have that we don't? Okay, and that our site doesn't. And we said, okay, well, let's look at the top sites here, um, and you can see that it actually is here. So, which is great, But let's say it wasn't. Let's just pretend that it had 00000. Okay, so let's look at this one. If I was this person, I could say, oh, most of these are verified. I could verify my profile. Okay, well, you can see if it's verified, so that is something we can see visibly. Citations are the number of websites that we talked about, like Google Local, listing the address. Okay, and you could say, well, I know that except for this guy who's some kind of genius, I know I need at least 100 citations. Okay, links. I'm looking at this, and I know this must be an error. So must this. I'm just going to throw these out. I've got 1,500. I know I need 1,000 links to my website, incoming links. Okay, authority. This is measured usually. It's called like domain authority. SEO Moz has it. Same. Okay. Well, listen. Maybe this is a really non-competitive term because again, 11. That's really low. I know I need to build up my authority to at least the 30s would be ideal. Okay, look at this 63, and it's down here. So it gives you an idea of what you need. Reviews. How many reviews? How many reviews do I need? Now I'm not actually sure what this means. 4 and 0, 12 and 0. So, but the idea being, it kind of doesn't matter. I can go and look, but the idea is reviews play into it. Okay, score is something I think they generate based on this, so this just has to do with the board. The other thing that it tells you that's interesting is what categories other people are in. So you can say, you know what, I didn't put myself in the right category. I see that everyone here is putting themselves in real estate consultant, and I forgot to put real estate consultant. I'm going to go add real estate consultant. Or, oh gosh, I did not see real estate, apartment buildings, and complexes. So I might as well add myself to that too. Real estate, so on and so forth. So you could do that. Now, let's look at the citations, because that's definitely a little bit more tough to get your mind around. What we can see here is a list of site. So these are all the sites A through J. Of course, only probably up to F ever displays on a page, but they still have these. And you could say, oh, okay, well, the idea is this is you, okay? And you say, well, do I have my information on Facebook? Because most of these people do. And the answer is yes. But let's say you didn't, okay? You want to make sure that you do. Yahoo, most of these people have it. YouTube, most of these people have it. Constant Contact, I sure as heck don't have that. I don't even use that program, but only one person has it. So I'm going to skip that, okay? So by that methodology, you can hit some of the more important ones first. You can come down here, and this is issue, or whatever that's called. I can see that most people have that. MapQuest, that would probably be an easy one to pick up. Yelp, everyone has it. Zillow, everyone has it. I want to make sure that I'm there. Craigslist, maybe I should post some stuff on Craigslist and consider putting my address in it. Yellow Pages, so this tells you kind of where to go. This is, and you can see it's pretty intense. You're gonna have to hire someone to do this, or devote a lot of time and energy to it. And when you're making these citations, when you go to Leads 411 and sign up for an account or whatever, it is helpful to have an email on your domain, like John at mysite.com. It does make it a little bit easier typically to verify them and get it completed and verified. Okay, and you can see I go down here and I see that the list goes on and on. These are citations. These are by far the hardest thing for people to get your mind around, and the thing that you really can't necessarily see when you're looking at the results. Okay, I hope this has been helpful. As a brief overview on some of the important elements that go into ranking a Google Plus, Google Local, Google Maps, all those things, kind of the same thing. Sorry about the confusion. And the one thing that I will say, that there are things out there that can help you with citations. One of the ones that I've been experimenting recently with is Localese. It's a little bit cheaper than most. Yelp. Not Yelp, Yext will help you with citations, and there's a few more too. The problem is they're pretty darn pricey, and but they do conquer a lot of the important ones right off the bat. Okay, so again, hope this has been super helpful. Thank you for watching, and if you need any additional help, let me put up the name of our website. Thanks so much for watching.